My entire mic setup apparently just decided to have a stroke randomly as I recorded the intro for this video. But, whatever. Welcome back to Standard Only, the show where everything goes wrong and the points don't matter. We actually have a fairly important thing to do today because we have entered, I believe it's Luna 3? Luna 2? I don't know how these patch numbers work, but we have the Witch's homework, which is possibly the biggest game changer in this entire anything. Also, apparently, we have to go help Lisa to do it. So this is what we're doing today. Because through the new Hexenzirkel questline, we actually unlock some buffs for characters we have to use. More specifically, the buffs for Fischl, Sucrose, and Razor are actually massive for this account, unironically. The buff for Mona is way less relevant, although I suppose it helps also. We need to bother Lisa so she gets out of the library, but honestly, looking at Lisa makes me happy anyway, so I don't really mind. I always liked Lisa's voice actor. She does the Lisa thing way too good. Now I think with Lisa shoved out of her library, we can go back into the library automatically. I didn't even do anything. It really wanted us to go to the library. And Paimon's voice grew like 3 octaves by the time we stepped in and out of the library. There she is. Lisa's voice also changed. Damn, we saw you 5 seconds ago, but you're right. I literally gave you a compliment not 10 seconds ago, Lisa. Stop chewing them up. I also love that instead of just making a cutscene, they did the slow zoom-in still images that makes me think of that one Kanikarus video from years and years ago. There it is! The Little Witch's Dictionary, which has the best character! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Okay, I need to talk about this quickly because this is pretty much my only place to talk about it. I recently did the newest Archon quest for Nod Cry, where Alice plays a massive role, and we finally get to see the Hexenzirkel in their full glory. And I'm going to be perfectly honest here, Alice has become my favorite character in the game by an absolute landslide. There is just something about how they wrote Alice that makes me smile internally in ways I didn't know I could. Yoimiya is still very high up on the list. Navia shares a nice little spot there, but Alice just like took a leap above the rest. Whenever Alice rolls around, my wallet is ready. And it will be the one time I go nuts for something, because holy shit, what a character. I love her so much. But yeah, no, this right here is one of the most important things for us going forward, because there are 2 particular characters from the Hexenzirkel that actually do a lot for our account. One of them, of course, being Sucrose, given the fact that she will buff... I have to remember now, she buffs just flat damage, doesn't she? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But the second one that's also really important is Fischl. Fischl can now buff herself and the team as long as she is together with Sucrose. Now, obviously, out of these characters here, there's only 4 of them that we can ever actually play, being Sucrose, Razor, Fischl, and Mona. Razor would actually be really, really good to have as well at some point, because Razor could potentially be some sort of on-field DPS for us if we ever needed one. However, it should come to nobody's surprise that when you finish this quest, you receive a free 4-star character from the Hexenzirkel. We already have Sucrose, but we don't have Fischl. And Fischl is important. Now, you know, Fischl is one of the best characters in the game, and I don't think that comes as a surprise to anybody. Fischl is incredibly good. The main reason I actually pick up Fischl here, though, is because we picked up the Skyward Harp last episode, and it is one of her better weapons. Realistically speaking, her best weapon is a rank 5 stringless, which we almost actually have. which means that if we get to that point and her crit and the rest of her substats look okay, we could swap her over to the stringless and have her run that instead. However, the Skyward Harp is an incredibly good substitute for that, given that we can just build her as full damage, which is exactly what we'll be doing, rather full crit. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just excited to finally have Fischl, all right? Alright, so what does Fischl actually do for us that we couldn't do before? Lanyan's new team looks like this, which, again, is basically a vape team together with Lanyan, because Zhangling and Bennett is just such an incredible combo that we don't want to waste. Tignari's team basically looks the same, given that we'll be playing him as Spread, and for now, Lisa will actually still be included in this team, although that may come to change given we find a few different characters. We have a Deluxe team, which is just Melt Turbo, which is about the best he's ever going to get, and that's not saying much, but it's something. But the main difference in the team that we want to make is in the Electrocharge team, because in this team now, we actually have a couple of changes that make more sense. Which means the Electrocharge team is going to look something like this. Sucrose being the main driver for this team is not terrible. While she won't necessarily deal as much upfront damage as Lanyan would, with the buff together with Sucrose and Fischl due to the Hexenzirkel, I don't think that matters too much. This is basically just an Electrocharge team from Nationals, but we happen to have Ororon as well, which just boosts it anyway, so I don't think it matters. We do, however, have to start building Fischl for this team to remotely do anything, which is kind of today's plan. This is also why the Spindalute is a really, really good weapon now that we're playing Sucrose on the field for this team, because it actually helps out a lot. Oh, I walked into a world quest. God, I get that this is supposed to set up the whole, like, free music thing, but I don't care. Nice, there it is, the Repertoire Myriad Melodies. I am happy they added that as like as its own thing, essentially, because it is really cool to have. But it is kind of useless, all things considered, for us. But yeah, no, this is going to be the new Electrocharge team, and it needs some work on Fischl. Unfortunately, oh god, Lisa's over there. I don't want to do it. I'm not going over there. You can't make me. There are a couple of things we need to do to actually buff this, though. Also, we have the Fantastical Blessings, because the thing, yay. I think I still need to do that on my main account, actually. I don't know if I did. 70 days. Oh, no, it reset recently. I think this is one of the better ones for us as well, but I don't think we can do... I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna check. Oh, we can actually enter normal mode on this. Ooh. Well... would you look at that? And as we said, the characters that appear as shared, we are allowed to use, simply because if we do not, we're just not going to get anywhere. But that's really good to know. Can't use any of these. Oh, we could use Fischl if we level her up here, actually. But yeah, we have Diluc, you. Nice! Okay. I don't remember if we actually have the rewards for doing normal yet. Debut. We don't! Okay, that's big if we do that. Okay, we have something that we can look forward to then, because we haven't actually done that yet. That's massive. We need to make sure to get that in while we can. But we have a couple of weeks left, so we have some time to level our characters before we head in there, which is cool. Regardless, though, we have to take a look at Fischl, because Fischl's Fischl. Everybody knows who Fischl is. You have used Fischl if you've played this game before, most likely. We are going to level Fischl as hard as we can here, because we are going to need her. We don't have that many XP books, unfortunately, but we do have quite a bit of resin laying around that we can use. She also uses lamp grass, thankfully being one of the easiest farmable materials, so this should be okay. I am not upset about this at all, but we are going to need to farm some XP books. We are going to need to farm some weapon materials eventually, but Fischl is definitely on the hit list now, because thank God we have her. Fischl does such a massive difference for this account, even at C0, mind you. If we could somehow, through miraculous means, get her to C6 at some point, that would be gigantic. I don't think that's ever on the table for us, though, but just having access to her means so many good things. Yeah, so the basis of this team is just put out Fischl, put Ororon, and start swirling stuff. That's pretty much it. This does, however, mean we also need to level up Sucrose to max level if we can. That would probably be very helpful. I don't know if sack frags would be better when playing her on field. I don't necessarily think so, because 20 seconds after using a skill is still 200 elemental mastery on top of the ER. And I don't even know how much the book actually gives. I know I looked this up at some point, but it's barely relevant to the point where we actually get energy recharge off of this too. So I'm just going to keep her on the Spindaloot, I think. I think that's perfectly fine. I am also really happy, now that I'm thinking about it, because we have gotten an additional 4-star character being added in this patch, which is Jehoda, or rather, I think it's this patch, right? Yeah, Jehoda was added. Jehoda isn't necessarily great for our account specifically, because she doesn't actually do all that much for us. However, what she actually does is that she helps activate Ascendant Gleam once we have Ino for teams that absolutely require it through Spiral Abyss or whatever else we happen to be doing. So it's not awful if we end up picking one of her up, but I don't necessarily know where else she would be helpful. What we've also had reveals of in the last couple of days is that there's actually a lot of 4-star characters being added to the game now, which is awesome. We have a new lamplighter, lightkeeper, the Flynn's people, whatever they were called. We have a new 4-star coming from them, which I believe is Geo. I don't know how much that helps us, but that is still kind of cool to see that there's another one being added. We had rumors of a bunch of new 5-stars as well, including one that's going on the standard banner, which would also be massive for us, because that's another character we could potentially get. And as we know, we are suckers for every character we can possibly find. Speaking of wishes, though, I haven't actually bought anything in the store, because I'm going to be real with you, I have not logged into this account in quite a while because of personal stuff. So, let's do some wishes. I don't think we have pity ready for anything here, but, you know, we'll do our wishes. We'll see where that takes us. Nope. A new character here would be stellar, honestly. Still blue. Could we get a new character today? No. But how about a new character for the roster, though? That'd be kind of sick. Damn it. Look, I know I ask for this every single time we make wishes, but okay. A new character, mayhaps, would be really cool. Okay. That changes things. That changes a lot of things, actually. Hi, Ifa. This suddenly got really interesting. You could not have come at a literally better and worse time. Huh. Okay, well, that changes things a little bit. Why'd you have to show up right as we get the Hexenzirkel? Because that is just depressing. Right. I want to talk about Ifa for a little bit, because Ifa was one of the characters that I was legitimately looking forward to getting on this account, because the fact that we have Ororon. Ifa and Ororon together build the basis for one of the best Electrocharge teams from Natlan that you could play using 4-stars only. Ifa himself necessarily isn't the strongest thing in the universe, but because of the airborne disease prevention, where he basically jumps up into the air and starts shooting bullets, he actually does really well in swirling Electrocharged. Because of his passives, one of them being the Mutual Aid Agreement, which is whenever nearby party member trigger Night Soul bursts, his elemental mastery is increased by 80, which Ororon would fulfill very easily. And we can also get something called Rescue Essential Points. For each Rescue Essential Point, he will increase the swirl and electrocharge damage dealt by nearby party members and the lunar charge damage as well. He is basically just a driver for Electrocharged. And originally, I wanted the Electrocharge team to look something like this. Now, the problem with this team, obviously, is that there is no solid healer here. Ifa does ever so slight bits of healing, and nobody else really does anything. But it would have been a very interesting team to play, given the fact that these guys all kind of work together. The fact with Ifa is that, unlike Yuma Mizuki, Ifa's skill actually triggers attack effects like Xingqiu and Fischl's C6, I guess. Or Beidou, if you really want to be pedantic about it. So because of that reason, you can actually run them together in this team and actually manage to do stuff. What you could arguably do, actually, because it is kind of cool. This would give Beidou a fair shot at the game, because Beidou's little spread attacks are actually really good with Ifa, surprisingly. This team, as an example, we can just pull them out here, would have been my Electrocharge team, because I actually really like Ifa. Even though he is a complete mistake in the game and isn't very good, he's very fun. I kind of just want to get my skill up so I can show it off, because it's relevant, I promise. You would skill this, skill that, do your thing, do the burst, do the bop, and then just go into the air. And as you can see, we can trigger attack effects from here. Like, it just works. It's not bad. The problem with this now, of course, is the fact that now that we have the Hexenzirkel buff, I don't actually know if we ever need to use Ifa for anything. Because I'm pretty damn sure that Sucrose just does his job better. And that fucking upsets me. Because I really want to build Ifa on this account. Ah! I don't know what to do now. Also, something that we have to talk about with Ifa is that even though it is worse than Chaska, he does allow us to temporarily fly places. So, for example, this thing here, oh, well, I guess Ifa wanted to have a swim, even though he technically doesn't have to. Like this little river here. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba. It makes traversal so much better, even though unlike Chaska that also shares this trait, he can't really fly up or down without consuming a massive point of his bar, as I will display here. He kind of just loses it immediately, unlike Chaska, who can hover for quite a while doing that. But just having access to this as a movement tool is insane. It's so good. This really does raise the question, though, as with Ifa, I'm not entirely sure what to do with him now. Sucrose and Fischl are obviously going to be the better pick in terms of damage, I think. But Ifa is definitely more fun. Like, I will not have anyone tell me otherwise here, because all you have to do is just go up into the air and fire a gun. And like, yeah, I'm not dealing any damage, but I am level 1. Who cares? This is just fun. I love the fact that we can do this. Huh. Well, that was unexpected. Oh, I don't know what to do now! Okay, about 500 years of farming lamp grass later, because let's be honest here, it takes a while to run around, we are going to do a couple of Fischl's boss drops, because realistically, we probably want to level him as high, level her as high as we can. Given the fact that we now have multiple team options for an Electrocharge team, I don't really know where to invest the time, but I think Fischl is just an overall really good option regardless of what we choose to do. So I think we're going to be doing that. Also, we're going to be bringing out Diluc for this because, let's be honest, we don't really get to use Diluc a whole lot anymore. And I kind of just want to play him because he's fun. Hello, Aleph. Dude, I miss you in the Ascension domains, man. What happened? Why'd you up and leave like that? There's 3 drops. Very nice. It is nice to be able to kill these in one rotation, honestly. Oh, that's not a half bad flower in case we needed the 4-star ones. And hey, more lightning prisms. All right. Final kill for today. We get 3 more and a Tiara of Thunder, which doesn't do anything. That's great. The last thing we need to do is we need to pick up a bunch of XP books because we're basically flat out of those. And let's be honest here, we're going to need a ton. Okay, 1 daily farming routine later, I guess. Let's see how much we can do with Fischl. Let's bring her up, first of all, to 50. We're gonna auto-add everything we've got. It isn't necessarily that much, but we can ascend her again to 60. We can get her all the way up. We are rapidly losing our Mora. We don't have enough to bring her to 70. Damn it! I think we need her to be 70 to actually be able to do the Hexenzirkel quest for her, which kind of sucks. There's 2 wishes, though, which I suppose is better than nothing. And we can, in fact, go and do Sucroses at the very least. So we get something useful done today. I believe they need to be level 70. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So next episode, surely. But let's do the first homework, which is the Law of Boundaries. And apparently we have to do... Oh, we have to go to the cat's tail first. We have to unlock the TCG! Okay. Fine, we'll go do it. Whatever. Lisa, don't talk to me. Not a joke, by the way. I actually love the TCG. The TCG is one of my favorite things. Yeah! The TCG! I don't know if we ever have to play it on the standard-only account, to be honest, but I will definitely be making videos on it for the main account at some point. Yeah! Hi, Diona! I want you to show up on this account also. Why are you taking so long? Having Diona on this account would be great. Oh, wait. She's standing inside the fly trap. Oh, no. Sucrose, you have to get out of there. It's gonna trap you. This is kind of ruining the cutscene, I'm gonna be honest. That was a very unfortunate placement in the game world, I guess. Yeah, let's put Paimon in there. Look, if you're brewing a potion, it will do well with some additional Paimon. That way I can get rid of her. And I can proceed on my travel without her. I haven't actually done this on my main account because, truthfully, Sucrose isn't even leveled on my main account. I have Venti and Kazuha. I have barely any reason. Hello? Why did it just forced swap me into whatchamacallit, into Sucrose? Sucrose can't hurt this thing. There we go. Now to Springvale. Oh, we're running errands. I see what we're doing here. Oh, it is actually the minigame from that event. Really? Oh! Look, I thought I was making a joke when I saw the cauldron and was like, yeah, this is from the minigame. But this is just the minigame. It's the whole thing. That's so cool. I actually kind of missed this one, even though I was never very good at it. Because it's a very fun minigame. It was fun back in the actual event they had, too. I actually really liked it. I mean, I guess there wasn't really that much to solve. You had plenty of space over. I was just being stupid. Oh, I want this minigame to come back, though. It was fun. I really want that to come back someday. I like that puzzle minigame. It's one of the very few puzzle ones I actually enjoyed. The potion ones were good. Why are you doing it in Dragon Spine? Sucrose. There's so many sweet flowers everywhere else. Is that like a specific... Oh my god, monster that ever so slightly crossed the line. Overspec Whopper flower. That looks so cool. I like that a lot. That's sick looking. Can we have like bosses like this in the Stygian, please? I know that they've been taking in like random enemies every once in a while. Can we have some of these? Just give the Whopper flower a couple new moves and it would be set. That's awesome. Look, I will say, this patch so far has been above and beyond in terms of quality. I have actually had a lot of fun, both with the Archon quest, but also just everything around it. It's a very good patch. That's cool. So, that unlocks the additional talent, the 7-fold transmutation for Sucrose. Now, I don't remember exactly what this is, but I believe it just does additional damage, correct? So, after she creates a small wind spirit, the nearby party member's normal attack, charge attack, punch attack, elemental skill, and elemental burst damage is increased. And after she creates a large wind spirit, normal attack is increased. Yeah, so it's just like 12 whatever % bonus damage if you use her skills. Which is great, honestly. That kind of like puts her in as a support type unit more so than anything else. She does become slightly worse off field in doing that, but who cares? It's free buffs. And don't you think I forgot about the 2 free wishes. We're gonna do them, don't you worry. They're gonna be blue, we don't really care. Get them in there, give us some more blue yeah. Look, I had a slight hope that we'd get something out of that, but I didn't expect it. That is unfortunately all of the time I've got today, though. Kind of a short episode today, but such be the way of life sometimes. However, I do have a question for all of you before ending off, because the Electrochurch team now has 2 very, very different options to go through. We can either go for the witches bitches or for the bros before hoes. One of them, of course, being the Hexenzirkel team running Sucrose and Fischl, and the other one being the bros running Ifa and Ororon. I'm gonna leave this up to all of you. Comment down below if you want me to build the witches bitches or the bros before hoes, because let's be honest here, we need to have a little bit of fun on this account sometimes. Regardless of that though, I hope you enjoyed your stay today as Sucrose blows up an experiment in her face. Don't take that out of context. Leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, because it supports the channel, and if I hit 4K before the end of the year, I would be stellar, but I don't think I will because Christmas is coming up. But regardless, I hope you stay safe out there.